I just took it. And I was like, why you ain't saying nothing? So long story short, I took that. They said what they said, and they weren't from our orientation, of course, but they were good brothers. They were good brothers, very good brothers. And I knew that I had to be around the Muslims because it was a lot that could distract you. You know, young and military, got plenty of money. You know, it was distraction was out there. So when they said these things, I took it, and I didn't say anything, and I stayed around, kept coming around them, and they would do the stuff that they did, and you know, I think it was all those years of hearing Imam Adil Muhammad that helped me step back and just say, you know what, don't respond, keep doing what you're doing, and when
that was him that put that in you, because he never defended himself. The believers would defend him, but there was people out there with propaganda machines, and one of the big old Nation of Islam, that's all they did. They spent all their time, from the leaders to the general followers, went around lying and slandering and spreading rumors to diminish Imam Muhammad's image in the minds of the people. They wanted him defeated. Then you had many other ones that weren't with the Nation of Islam, who were jealous and envy and afraid of his power from the black church. So you had people, all kind of people out there lying on him, but we didn't know that because he never saw him hit back.
Well, after all these years, I feel better now that you said that, because
you never saw Imam hit back.
Yeah,
Imam put that in you.
Because I wanted to.
I've been in the same spot. I've been in the same spot. The only people I found myself wanting to fight were people that I grew up with at the Muslim school. I'm like, I grew up with you. You're my man, daddy, love my father, you know, and you got nerve to talk stuff, you know. So I would, you know, I wasn't the type of person I would hit a person. If you hit me first, then I hit you back. But I would call them out, and I would try to threaten them. I'd make them want to hit me. Yeah, I would provoke them. I'll say, please hit me. So I talk about them like a dog. Call them all kind of punks and thieves or whatever, and I dare them to do something, because I would have went wild man on them. And I've been in that same situation where people, my whole life, people always test me because I have a mild spirit, a calm nature. So people always test me, and I always defend him with words. A lot of times you can do more with words than you can do with physical violence.
Right.
And yeah. So I believe, hearing that from you in that manner, that I believe what you were doing was following Imam Muhammad. Yeah. You had to been following him. Yeah. Because that was his spirit. He never attacked anybody. He always, it's really hard to explain, but y'all know how I
We know.
Yeah, you know. But he dealt with his enemies. He dealt with them. He with truth. The truth was worse than any punishment he could give them from an emotional standpoint or from what he thought was justice.
Right.
He didn't have to give them justice.
Right.
Allah gave them justice and put
Share with
it
what
in
I
his heart.
experienced. Let me share with you what I experienced.
Yes, sir.
We was in Lansing, Michigan, at Michigan State.
Yes, sir.
Imam was there speaking, and there was some brother that wearing the long white garbs and all that.
Oh, they must have been from the same tribe of people I was dealing with.
I was the Imam at Michigan State University, and we brought him.
And Imam was speaking, and they started asking questions, started irritating the Imam. And the Imam says, I used to box, you know, and I could tell
that he was getting.
Yeah, I could tell he was getting irritated. I was standing right next to the guy. It was a bunch of immigrants and African American. They were using him as a talker. So it's a martial art technique called a death technique. Touch. I hit him. Boom. I hit him before I even knew it. And he jumped. And he looked at me and I boom, touched him again. So he went all the way up in the balcony. So now he didn't say nothing else. And the rest of them, they picked up on it. They didn't irritate the Imam no more, so he went on.
I think I know them people, them provokers. I got into it with some of them in Cleveland. They came from Canada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the other brother had something. Brother Larry.
They hostile. They almost like gangbangers.
Some years ago, I'd seen some things that was going on around Imam Adil Muhammad, and I asked the brother who do security for him up in Atlanta. I said, why the Imam don't deal with that? He said, well, the next time I'm around him, I ask him. And so it was a month or two later, he came back to me and he said, that Imam Muhammad said, it shows him who his friends is and who his enemy. Because I'm wondering why you still got them people around. I'm hearing rumors that they doing that, and he still got them around it.
Right.
You know, I didn't understand it. He said,
Right.
It shows him his enemy, who
That's
his real
right.
friend.
That's right.
Yeah, like birds of a
Yes, sir.
feather.
Yes, sir.
Birds of a feather.
Yeah.
So people
Yes,
that
sir.
gravitate to that person, they must be just like him, or at least want to be like him.
Yes, sir.
I saw that too.
Yeah. Yeah. So those people were from the same tribe. That we were dealing with the same clansmen.
And one other incident that I'm done.
No, go ahead.
We was at the Northwest Activity Center in Detroit, and we was on the stage. I was on the left side of the imam, on the very end, and Imam Adil was about 11 imams down on the right side. This brother jumps up on the stage with his coat over his arm,
I was there.
and we're rushing toward the imam. Now, imam had security. They was sitting all around him.
Slap 'em.
When he jumped up on the stage and ran towards the imam, I stepped up in front of the imam, and I looked to my right. Elam was already there.
Oh yeah.
Security didn't move at all.
Mm.
And then after we took him in the back, and they was beating him upside the head, the imam told me to go and see what he wanted. And he said, we the one, I wrote it on a note, went back to him, and he said, tell him don't hit him no more. So I told him that, and they escorted him out. Then after that, the security stood up and around him, man. I touched him on the shoulder, have a seat. We already done took care of
You've
that.
been properly
There's no need to
released.
stand up now. You should have stood up when the action was going on.
You've been properly relieved.
Yeah.
So, but
You have to describe it, Imam Rasul. He came all the way down the auditorium.
Right.
He walked down the aisle, all the way down the auditorium, and just walked up the steps while the man was speaking.
Yeah.
And security just sat right there.
That's the same brother?
Same one.
The same
Same
guy.
one.
I remember him. And he used to stand across the table while I'm selling the tapes and just kind of stare at me.
Yeah.
Make me real uncomfortable. But I knew he was out to lunch.
Right.
And he seemed dangerous.
Yeah.
Because
We
you
gonna
could
put
see
him out to lunch.
You could tell by the look. I remember he got beat up too. I heard about it. But he you see in his eyes he was violent.
Yeah.
so what that tells you is that the best security is love,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And Imam said that it should be community service. See, because you're not gonna serve unless you love.
Yes.
And if you paying somebody, they're not gonna give their life for nothing. And Brother Hati gonna have to say how the Honorable Elijah Muhammad used to say it. If you pay a man what? How's it go?
You talking about me?
Yes, sir.
Anyway, this has to do with money, zakat. And Honorable Elijah Muhammad, we were talking about it, you close fist, right? And
yes, sir.
so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was saying, hey, if they won't get their money, they sure won't get their life. They're hypocrites.
Right.
So I never forgot that. Okay?
Yeah, when they bring in the mic, if you just mind repeating it, because this needs to be heard.
Now that's a powerful correlation.
Say that again.
That's a powerful correlation. And if you think about it, that person that will give their money, that person you can trust them and you can depend on them. And if necessary, they probably would die with you or
That's right.
for you if they had to.
That's right. Repeat.
So I never forgot that.
Just repeat it, please.
Okay. It was a discussion regarding security, and then zakat or charity came up. And so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad heard about it, and he was like saying, he said, they won't get their money, they sure won't get their life. They hypocrites. I never forgot that. I always watched, and I was sharing with the brothers in community service about, you got to donate, you got to give. But what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said, peace be upon him, is they won't get any money, they sure won't get any life. So I always watch the tight-fisted ones, the ones that don't like to give. And that's been a theorem for me, a barometer when I see that, you know. So you know, you agree to
all
take
my enemies.
Right.
Now we gonna leave him be for a while.
So going back to the tribes that we were dealing with. So I was on the military base, and I was dealing with these guys, and they were every chance they got, they would say negative things about the email. So I learned how to take it, you know, and I never said anything. I said, okay, I got something for them. So I just continued to do what I did, and travel. I would go different places with them to congregate, do different things, study with them, and different things like that. But what it forced me to do was to stand up on my own with and for this community. I finally had something else to compare al-Islam through the lens and the leadership of Imam Adil Muhammad. I finally had something to compare it to and against. So though I disliked the situation and it was uncomfortable for me, I finally came to realize and see that what we have is the best. Because I had to see this other stuff and how way out it really was, you know, and the extremes that these different people would go through and that they would do. A lot of them were just showmen. A lot of them was very ritualistic. But they were good brothers. They were good brothers. So after all of this, and I'm starting to see that was the most valuable thing that I learned, was being away from community and different things like that, and having to come into my own and to appreciate this for me, not for my father, not for my mother, not for my community, but for me to be able to appreciate the leadership of Imam Adil Muhammad, the leadership of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and even Professor Parad before, to be able to appreciate this. You know, see, because we have to understand is that when we mention Muhammad the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you can't mention Prophet Muhammad without mentioning Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. See, because what this is all it is, what Muhammad the Prophet represents, what the Quran represents, is the promise fulfilled. That's what it represents. What promise? The promise that Allah made to Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he told him that I will make you an imam for all of the nations, for all of the worlds, for all of the people. And Ibrahim, like any loving father, say, but any of my offspring? He said, no, it's only for the righteous. So that was a promise for Allah. If they righteous, they'll be just like you. And didn't he produce a lineage of prophets and messengers that came from the lineage of Ibrahim alayhi salam? So Ibrahim had a plan. He had a strategy. He was thinking about the whole chain. He was a true Khalifa. He was reaching back and he was reaching forward and he was tying them two together at the middle. That's what the Khalifa does. He was praying for his father, who was an idolater, who was a pagan. He was praying for his offspring. So he was praying for his ascendants and he was praying for his descendants. Right? And he was even praying for Lut, even when Lut, Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam was also known as Halim, the forbearing or the tender-hearted. Where do you think Muhammad the Prophet got that from? It's in his DNA. We got stuff in our DNA and our genetics too, from our spiritual fathers. Right? So we cannot mention Muhammad the Prophet, President of Peace be upon him, without mentioning Ibrahim alayhi salam. We cannot mention Imam Adil Muhammad without mentioning the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Some of you may not want to hear this.
Come on with it.
But Allah said he created all the children of Adam honorable. It ain't the fact that they don't like what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad did. They hate to hear you call him honorable. And you better not accept that. Don't you ever accept that, and don't you ever be ashamed to call him honorable. You will sit up in some courtroom and call some chump you don't know your honor, but you won't call this man who you uplifted a people from nothing by the will and by the sake of Allah, you will have a problem with calling him honorable?
No problem here.
You out of your mind. You out of your mind. So we have to mention the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Some people don't like y'all bringing up the past. We have to. Isn't that? Do you know who Muhammad the Prophet's father was? Abdullah. It says Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Do you know who his mother was? Amina. So we have to know who our fathers was. You want to cut us off. That's how they cut you off on opposite sides. Kill the men and let the women folk live. That's what that's doing when they cut you off like that. See, what they do is they don't want a leader like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. That's why you don't hear about him on Black History Month. You know, that's why they do that. Because, see, they want to kill the men and let the women folk live. They want these leaders that are women-like. That's what they want. They want a leader that's malleable, that's meek, that's docile, that they can reproduce themselves in. They can't reproduce themselves in a leader like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He killed it dead, stop right there. That's it. That's in you and me too. Right? So we must understand this. This is what they, when it mentions in the Quran, it says that how they slay the prophets. This is what they do. We still on topic. This is what.
I just want to straighten up them lanes of giving you a hard time about Imam Muhammad. That guy up there ended up being the Muslim chaplain on the base.
Oh, I didn't get to that part of the story. I forgot. Yeah, I forgot to mention that. But it turns out, I just kept doing what I was doing, and remembering the leadership of Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Imam Adil Muhammad, and they eventually elected me as their leader. I didn't tell them. Alhamdulillah. I didn't want it. I didn't tell them, hey, I'm a student of Imam Adil Muhammad, the one y'all bad mouthing and talking about. You know what I'm saying? And what topped it off is like, right, we were traveling, right? We were traveling. I was traveling with them, and they wanted to stop and make salah. So okay, we stopped. We stopped in Savannah, Georgia, and we get there, and when we go in, I see a Muslim journal, and I said, that's exactly what I said. Allahu Akbar. You know, I said Allahu Akbar because I said I'm home. I said I'm home now. Because at the time, I didn't know where anything else was. And it's not like Google is Google. You know what I'm saying? Google wasn't Google then. You know what I'm saying? So when I saw that Muslim journal, I said, I'm home now. You know what I'm saying? So later for those guys, once I found out where the masjid with our community was, I started going there. You know what I mean? And then I met, so we made salat and we left. I saw the Muslim journal. It was like, during this time period in my life, it was like I lost the whole concept of time. And it was like I didn't, like my family wasn't there. It was like Allah put me through something. I had to go through it alone, you know? So I was going through this, and like I said, I found a new home, Master Jihad, and that was by a very able and very capable Imam Majid Ali. Very scholarly brother, very beautiful. Yes, he did. You know, he did. May Allah have mercy on his soul, forgive him his shortcomings, and grant him paradise. Loved Imam Adil Muhammad. Loved Imam Adil Muhammad. Very scholarly. He had a very unique voice. He used to say, Adil. That's how he used to say my name. Adil. And he was very powerful. And it's a lecture that he did, that Imam Adil Muhammad did at Savannah State. I can't remember the exact year, but Imam Ali introduced him so profound and so eloquently and so beautifully. And it's funny because one time it was a major event or something, and my brother Hathi had ran into him at the airport or something. Hathi like, man, I got somebody want to talk to you. Got somebody want to talk, man, what you talking about? Man, what is it? He's like, guess. I'm like, man, come on, just. So he put him on the phone, and Imam Majid Ali said, Assalamu alaikum, Adil. Man, it melted my heart. And we ask Allah to have mercy on his soul, forgive him his shortcomings, and grant him the paradise, and to bless his children and his wife, and his community was very unique because he had more. It started to be more people that weren't of our community than our community.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and he handled it.
I went there. I visited there.
Oh, so you know. So yeah, and so he handled the situation. He held the post, you know, and he was an old soldier from the nation, from the first, and he held the post so eloquently in representing Imam Adil Muhammad very well, represented our community very well. So, but so yeah, so that was that in Georgia. So I'm saying all that to say is that we made us some great stuff. We come from great